Just continually collecting material. Easy for us, straight off the path. There we go. To the bird box. There it is. Same bird. Little head peeping out. Just see a little head peeping out. Give it a few seconds, it'll be out again. The little head will appear first to see if it's okay, it's clear. There we go. Now I've lost count, I don't know whether that's a parent or a chick. Isn't that fantastic? There we are. Ah, look at that. Just taking some stills. I think about times 76, 78, that's its maximum. It's back down to times 48. That's wonderful. Supposed to be busy on work things at the home, but I'll take an hour off for this. Or is it a juvenile? I think it was an adult all along. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, that's been going on for a long time. I wonder what's going on. I wonder what that is, really. There we go. It's beautiful, I love that. There we go. The adults are literally pushing one another out to get in to feed. One comes out, the other goes in. One's left literally a second before the other one's turned up. This is incredible. They're all coming down for the food that we've got on the path. There we are, one of the parents. It's wonderful. That's one parent with a little white streak. Then there's another one waiting. There it comes. It's flown in, that's the parent from the other box. So both families are feeding at the same feed. I've just put another handful down. All you've got to do is sit here and see all this happening. Wonderful. I just had the juvenile starling at my feet about 3 feet away. 4 feet. Wonderful. The amount of bird life we've got just now is absolutely incredible. I feel sorry for them because I don't think there's a lot of insects around this year. Very long, cold spring. Bee numbers are dreadful. There's things here that should be covered in bees. There's none to be seen. Ah, the juvenile starling in. Isn't that beautiful? Sorry, juvenile thrush. Starling, good God. We're after the summer shutdown by a month, but we've still got all this noise of birds in the garden. It's wonderful. That's gone now. Creaky chair doesn't help. I know that was close. How lovely. And how valuable this food is we put out. It puts others to shame. Oh, look at that, isn't that wonderful? That's about 15 feet away. Down to about 5, 6 feet when he was closer. He or she. That's one of a clutch of young thrushes. Turdus philomenus. Or something like that. There's another one just coming, I can hear it. They give themselves away with the juvenile chatter before they can actually see them. There's plenty of things in flower, but there's no bees this year. Very few. And of course, does that mean There's no insects for the birds to eat. Very strange. Everything's so late. These roses should have been in. Ah, there's a bee. Thank goodness. I can hear juveniles in there, in that tree. There's another. Oh, that one there's a plum tree. There's now I've got a tyre fitting business at the end of the garden, so now we've got a little bit of industrial noise. That's Constant Spry. It's been in there 22 years. Or 21 probably. It's named after the woman that did the flowers for the 1953 coronation. Absolutely gorgeous. And this one is little Eglanteria. It smells of apples in the rain. That's an interesting plant actually. It smells of hops. Forgotten its name. Always used to be outside the hut. My Auntie Annabelle's 20 or more years ago. I always grow chives with ornamental value. There's fruit. This is Rosa Mundi, the apothecary's rose. Absolutely gorgeous. I made these brick pots myself 22 years ago. Well, they're gorgeous. Canterbury Bowers, I think. Well, actually, I think there's a slight difference. They're not quite that. I've forgotten the scientific name. But even this thing, Paul's Himalayan, it's not given the performance that it would normally. It should be better than this. It's Monk's Hood, a night in the palace. And of course the great thing is we've got some raspberries starting to come online. That's an interesting shady area. I did some quite good planting in there 4 or 5 years ago. It's medium. I've got about 5 of those. Hosta, Caliborn, of course all these things excel in the spring, and I've deliberately left this a rough area, as was proven yesterday. The young clutch of thrush are harbouring themselves safely in there. That's Madam Hardy. As the famous saying goes, green-eyed like jealousy, because it's got a little touch of green leaf in the centre. Gorgeous. Originally this garden had 32 varieties of rose planted. They were all ones with history. I think there's only 2 or 3 were modern, as it were. Gorgeous. I photographed that yesterday. And of course now the petals have fallen. And we've got some Ella Campaign, which isn't doing very well there. It's not damp enough. Isn't that gorgeous? And of course again we've got another Eglanteria which smells of... that's there. So it smells of apples in the rain. It's really gorgeous. And this rose is Complicata, Rosa Complicata. That was Vita Sackville West's favourite rose. Absolutely gorgeous. Those are only, well, they're only about 3.5 inches, 4 inches diameter. But they vary in shade as they age. So the younger ones are a darker colour. There we are, industrial zone. Oh, gorgeous. Madam Hardy again. This was actually a churchman. His name was Dean Hall. And that was his favourite rose, and he was one of the founders of the National Road Society. I deliberately have some ivy. Wrens like to nest in that sort of location. Now, I don't know if we've got any nesting wrens in this garden this year. I've not seen the parents feeding. It's deliberately allowed to run rampant so that young fledgling birds can hide, so they're safe, and also got some shade as well in the height of summer. That's the thing you've got to watch, an ornamental bramble, Rebus cockburnianus. I'd always wanted it, and it was at a charity sale. Now I've realised how plants get to be at a charity stall, because those are the ones that are rampant. So you've really got to be careful with that. But it's very good for bees. Bees absolutely love those flowers. If we have any bees. I'm still waiting to see some. There's very few this year. Very few. There's one on the monkshood. But not much. Not many at all. That's Paul's Himalayan. Absolutely gorgeous there. We've got a variation in flower colour. And that's Angelica. It's grown deliberately as its own ornamental item. Unlike the raspberries, which are actually grown to fill my tummy. Ooh, there's more all over. It's just starting to come on now. Quite nice this year, actually. I thought they'd be hopeless, but it's been very dry. Lovely. There we go. But actually very nice. Oh, must have found a bee. It's a real problem to even find a bee. Oh, thanks. Interestingly, when I was starting to dig into that compost heap a couple of years ago, that's gorgeous, absolutely super. I found that there are actually little tunnels made by the mouse. All these tubs were made, these troughs were made by me. It's a peat and sand cement mix. Quite good, it's porous. It's a Strantia from Mrs. Neal, lovely woman. No longer on the planet. I still miss her after about 3 years. So there's little tunnels. So when I dug into it, I thought I'll just leave it. I don't want to destroy its habitat. And a few years before that, when I was digging a previous heap from this, and interestingly I found that compost from the garden heap is very bad for crocus. It will destroy crocus. So I just don't need compost heaps anymore. I'm just actually binning green waste. There's no need for it. But interestingly, about 10 years ago, there was another heap, another little mouse's nest in there. And so when I found it, I thought, oh hell, what have I done? I should leave it alone. So I just, strangely, it rescued its own young and carried them all under the base of the hut, each one at a time. But my God, there's resourcefulness. That's interesting. Lots of these things are quite easy, common things. There's valerian, which I've always wanted, and there's a few weeds in here as well. My sotis, forget-me-not. But each has its place, as it were. So Paul's Himalayan hopefully will flower better next year. That's very poor compared to what it can be. And interestingly, this beech standard, at least 20 years old, grown from a sapling, a little sapling from a country house further up in the country. And I've spoken to the gardener a few times. They're a wonderful man. He used to work on the farm, and I think he gardened when he retired as a hobby for them. And it's really from them. There's 4 of them at the entrance at Rodham. And so I thought, I like the idea, I'll copy it. It needs to be trimmed, obviously. Its shape is supposed to be hemispherical, a half ball. So we'll leave the garden as it is. We'll let it be a refuge, a little sanctuary for these lovely things. That's chives grown. It's an ornamental plant. That's some cuttings of a viburnum. I don't know if it's Bodman 10s, which is the usual one, but I've got to make sure I keep it watered. And all these are brick paths. These were laid by me 22 years ago when we first came into the house. It was an utter hive of industry. Incredible. And so this plum tree at the right time of year, oh, there we go. A reasonable crop. There's not a lot of plums this year because you're supposed to actually thin them out if they're too congested on the stem, but actually that's not as congested as it normally is. Very poor spring. I don't know how the hell fruit growers and horticulturalists have coped. I really don't know. There must be a lot of great upset. This is a wonderful garden, the habitat we've created and the bird feeding that we do. Oh, there's a juvenile thrush. There's several of them. They give away where they are with their squawk. because there isn't a single day of the year where there isn't bird song, whereas a lot of people's gardens after the mid-June shutdown, the birds make very little noise at all, but this always has bird song. It's quite unusual.